There is a 8 participant at the moment.
Think we wait another 10 minutes or so. Okay, because people just coming in a lot of time also.
Tujuh tiga satu. Awal gila. Aku sebenarnya tadi aku bangkit awal. Selesai.
I think Dr. Ismail, we might can start because 10 o'clock.
Sebab aku tengok
And we
pukul
will
5
have
dah
only
habis.
1 hour time, 40-minute
Okay.
presentation, and 20 minutes
Aku
will
bagi
be Q&A
aku
session.
bagi kat hang ni yang Zoom ni.
Okay. I would like to request kindly Noor Zawani, if I'm not mistaken, just all of you, please mute your mics so that we have no interruptions here and there.
Tak tahu, tak.
So shall we start?
Okay, I think we can.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله وسلم
Tapi Kak
وبارك
Ijin nak ni, nak
عليه
apa, nak bungkus itu.
وعلى
Itu ke
آله
RNO ke?
وصحبه
Nak pergi
أجمعين.
RNO ke pergi tempat lain?
Dear brothers
Ha,
and
aku
sisters,
nak
all praise
tahu.
be to Allah and peace and blessings be upon
Kena ni,
our Prophet
masuk Zoom
Muhammad.
ah? Link tu kan? Lepas tu,
On behalf of World Academy of
passcode dia.
Islamic Management
Ada dah.
WAIM, I would like to welcome all of you to our webinar entitled Understanding the Sustainability of Islamic Circular Green Economy. That is to be presented by Associate Professor Dr. Justri Abdul Razak. So on behalf of WAI members and the audience, I myself would like to thank him in advance. In our webinar today, Associate Professor Dr. Justri Abdul Razak will be presenting the topic. While he is presenting, if you have any questions, please jot down those questions because we will have Q&A session after he is done with his presentation. You can also leave your questions in the chat box.
Mute dia. Mute. Sekejap. Mute kita ke?
Dear brothers and sisters, the best thing to start with is some ayat of our holy book of Al-Quran Al-Kareem, and allow me to recite Al-Fatiha along with all of you for the souls of the shuhada that are falling every day in Gaza, Palestine, as well as in the West Bank as well. So for all those who have been killed by the Zionists, the Israelis, may Allah place them among the chosen ones. Please allow me, along with you, to recite Al-Fatiha. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين آمين يا رب العالمين. May Allah place them among the chosen ones, and may Allah Azza wa Jal ease the pain they are going through in Gaza, Palestine. Allahumma ameen. Dear brothers and sisters, allow me to shed some light on the CV of our distinguished presenter, Associate Professor Dr. Justri Abdul Razak. Our distinguished speaker for today has obtained his PhD in Islamic Banking and Finance from University Science Malaysia, USM Penang, back in 2011. Prior to joining the academia in 2003, Associate Professor Dr. Justri Abdul Razak has served the banking industry for 25 years. Associate Professor Dr. Justri Abdul Razak has undertaken several research and consultancy projects with the industry, one which amounting to RM 70,000 with the local bank on customers' perception on gratuity financing scheme. He has also completed leading research grant on a study of abandoned housing project amounting to Ringgit Malaysia 78,000 under FRGS 2013-2017. To date, he has published more than 20 articles on refereed and indexed journals. Our speaker for today has also won several awards for his submission in the university research and exhibition projects. In addition, he has examined several PhD theses and has supervised numerous postgraduate students so far. He has taught different subjects, including bank management, Islamic wealth management, marketing of financial services, Islamic financing management, and sustainable development as well. He is also involved in training programs on Islamic finance locally as well as overseas. Associate Professor Dr. Juljastri is currently a research fellow at the Institute of Halal Research and Training in Heart after serving the Kuliya of Economics and Management Sciences KEMS for 20 years since 2003 till 2023. And he has held various positions including Syrian's Academic Fellow, Head of Department of Finance, and Head of Internationalization as well. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, without further ado, please welcome with me Associate Professor Dr. Jastri Abdul Razak and allow him to start his presentation.
Okay, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. Brother Dr. Ismail, member of the ESCO of the WAIM, closest to my heart, fellow attendants from all over the world. I know this is quite time also for some of you, whereby it is something early in the morning. But I think in future, perhaps we will do some adjustment on this. Okay, this topic, as you're aware, is I think is quite a recent topic and also a very important one for us to understand because of the many changes on sustainability. There has been the policy of the government. In the West, it has taken off under the banner of ESG. Okay, so when we see this word ESG, which is actually economic, social, and governance, we will ask ourselves what it's all about. And most likely, we will follow the Western terminology of ESG. So my purpose this morning actually is to try and look it from another perspective, which is the Islamic perspective. That is why we have the word Islamic there, circular. Green economy. I thought I want to put finance because I'm from finance department, but I decided to maintain it as green economy. Okay, I'll proceed with the slides presentation. Inshallah, I will just do sort of a half an hour kind of thing, and I'll like to open Dr. Ismail. Maybe there's some question in the chat or, make it lively for everybody. Okay. Normally we'll start with definition. Okay. What is green economy? And then we'll try and come out with this sustainable development on Islam from an Islamic perspective. Then sustainability and circular economy. Then I'll bring up this ESG. So the ESG should come last because we don't understand the earlier part of the Islamic part of it, then we think that ESG is also Islamic. There are a lot of criticism on this ESG. Some people who see ESG is just turn off, which is true actually. ESG is a money-making mechanism from the bank. All right. So question is, from Islamic perspective, how can we do, or what we need to do some adjustment on this ESG thing? Then we will see the performance. So the performance confirm what I'm trying to say, and you can conclude on that. Okay? All right. What is green economy? Green economy actually is the one that aims at reducing environmental risk. So what do you mean by that? Now, the word environmental started to come into play. So what would be the case before? Do we have any risk when we take into consideration our, especially for financial institution, because they are the one who is doing the money lending out kind of thing. So in other words, do they sort of evaluate environment or not? Okay. So when we talk environmental risk, which is one of the in the ESG, we'll talk about issues on climate change. Okay, climate change, we talk about pollution, then we talk about green gases, carbon dioxide. And this has caused an issue of global warming. Now, this is true, right? You will see in the newspaper, every day government changing the policy, talking about NTER, what you call it, come to it, policy to change. And Putrajaya has put 2 billion as a starting point to make a lot of changes in the, what you call it, in the method of how we getting electricity. For example, we are going on to solar now. Okay, solar energy comes an important part, replacing what you call that, replacing coal. Okay, so coal is deemed to be the factor that causes greenhouse CO2. Okay. So before I forget, I put down here because through this, I gather all the information. If you are in the green group, what I'm trying to do today is I'm to get all the facts that we have discussed in the green group. And the green group has said that, you know, in the current variables accountability of economy, we have not taken the factor of natural resources. Okay, what do you mean by natural resources? Natural resources actually are the things that exist naturally. For example, air, water, even animals. So I'll come to that, right? So the point here is that green economy has been growing, but we have not taken into consideration the human and ecology aspects of the greenery. All right. So much so that we are actually causing, the one who's causing the global warming and health hazard. All right, is related to ecology, plants surrounding, so on and so forth. So the issue here today is that is the economy system that we are doing now comprehensive enough or not? All right, have we taken all the factors? So later I'll come and compare between the linear and the circular. The linear economy, which is now, have not taken into consideration natural resources. All right, natural resources is something out, and they call it externalities. All right, so that is why in the criticism on the linear, unfortunately, is that, you know, some of our colleagues also in the linear thinking is that they just build things, design, and just throw it away. So the result of that is causes a lot of waste. All right. So you can see in big countries like New York, London, even in Kuala Lumpur, how much waste is that has been generated, and how I'm going to get rid of the waste. Okay, if we can't get rid of the waste, then we have to do something about it. All right. So before coming to all those elaboration, when it's about natural resources, there are also issues, for example, like I said, oil, coal, natural gas, sunlight. All right. Unfortunately, this was not sort of be taken care when you talk about solar. Solar is only just something like about maybe less than 5 years in Malaysia. All this while, we've been only relying on coal, which is actually what you call that electricity generated by coal, not by solar. And have we taken into consideration natural resources, for example, like animals, birds, fish, and plant? I don't think we have taken into that. In fact, unfortunately, there are also bombing of these fish. All right, bombing of these fish and bombing of all those corrupt things that make it corrupt. So much that, you know, our turtles are all being caught in the fishing net, so on and so forth. So why is this happening? All right. Why is this happening? This happening is because we have ignored. All right, we have ignored the factors that is very important in taking into consideration about ecology, and therefore environmental factors. The environmental factors actually is not only climate; it also take into consideration the animals and the plants, so on and so forth. So my next slide is trying to explain here is that, no, there is a balanced environment. The balanced environment is maintained through an operations of natural cycle and natural resources. So just now we discussed about natural resources. So the natural cycle is that if we go to the natural things, like you go to the sort of jungle and anyway kind of thing, you'll see that there are cycles which we cannot disturb. All right, for example, they have water cycle, they have carbon cycle, oxygen cycle, nitrogen cycle. These are actually within its own natural being. All right, this is all in natural being, and we should not disturb that. If we disturb that, you break the cycle, then you get into trouble. That's my next slide. Okay. So this various food chain, I just found out yesterday when I Googled, what do you mean by various food chain? Various chain there, Allah has created animals, small animal, bigger animals. So a good example is the frog. Okay, the food system of the frog, actually, what the frog does? The frog will eat the mosquito or the ants, all right? So that's it, one cycle. And then who eat the frog? The snake will eat the frog, isn't it? So ecology in itself cannot be disturbed. If we disturb ecology, then we get into trouble. We are breaking the rules. We are not abiding to the Caliphate, the Caliphate rules of the Allah Subhanahu wa Taala has said to us. So my next slide is trying to say here that, however, right, if human introduce external factors, what is it? Carbon dioxide. Okay, a lot of gas have been used by our fossil cars. This is one issue that we need to sort it out. Okay, this is CO2. Pollution, all right? Pollution can be generated from so many places. For example, now we're talking about the flood in East Malaysia, also in West, it's in Malaysia, it's Johor, this Kelantan and Terengganu. This pollution of water is going to affect the health of the people. Waste, as I just pointed out, derived from water, from this unscrupulous way of just throwing things. Oil slick. How does oil slick happen? Collision of what do you call that? Pollution of ship. All right. And then many things. This destroy the balance. So when this destroy the balance, it destroy the ecosystem. So this ecosystem, it breaks the chain, right? It breaks the chain and create a lot of problem in our understanding of this sustainability. Because in order to have a sustained environment, all this must be equal. All right. There's the concept of mizan or balance, right? Of which I'm going to discuss a bit later. So the effect of all the things is global warming, all right, as you are experiencing now. We do not know, actually, we are not scientists, but actually this global warming has caused a lot of, a lot of trouble. I mean, we live and maybe work in aircon, it's about okay, but if we just go out, we see these, the farmers, sometimes the paddy fields all destroyed, all right, why? Too much global warming. Haze, all right, we have issue with Indonesia on haze. All right, burning, over burning of this, what do you call it, of this forest. All right, destruction of forest or deforestation, water poisoning, extinction of animals. All right, so all in all, we look at this. Actually, we are not being fair with the nature, isn't it? But this is happening without being sensitive on this work of sustainability and circular. We are just doing it all the same. We keep on doing all this through our ignorance, or I don't understand, or what this concept is all about. Okay, so this is why I think this thing is crucial. Understanding of it is crucial. I say I'm not an expert in it, but I'm not neither am I an economist. But I take this issue from my understanding that, we need to be discussed. Somebody has to take the lead on this. And we are educators, right? At universities, we are the one. Allah has pointed us as Khalifa to do good things to the world, not the bad thing. I think Dr. Samal can sum this. He's an expert in the fiqh. Maybe in a summary, he will say something like this. So when we don't manage things properly, this is what the result, okay? Management of natural resources issue of clean energy, wastage, all right, recycling, so on and so forth. So this is the next step that we should be doing in order to address the issue, all right? Okay. All right. Now, before we go to the ESG and get ourselves very confused with people making money and all, try and look actually what is sustainable from the Islamic perspective. What are we talking about here actually? Sustainable from Islamic perspective. What is the issue here? So in other words, then you can ask me, in other words, there must be a what you call practice of sustainability from the conventional perspective. Okay. So the comparison is that the day being Friday, very blessed, so on and so forth. We just look at a few ayat Quran, right? For example, like Al-Mulk, okay? So Al-Mulk, we said that, you see Allah who said that, man came for you, so walking among his slope and eats his provision and him for resurrection. Okay, this is our Al-Mulk. So by looking at it, right? By looking at it, we can really see here that Allah has already reminded us, right? That's why I said the Holy Quran is a very, very ideal thing. And unfortunately, I said we have not mastered the Quran. For some reason or other, we think Quran verses is only good when we pray only. All right? We never practices and put the practical aspect or the action aspect of the Quran. Why is that? This is the question that we should ask ourselves at the end of this my short presentation here. Why are we actually sort of not putting ayat Quran first, okay? And then we talk about economics. Or is our Islamic economics actually abiding strictly to the principles? Or are we just making as an adjustment called Islamic economics? Basically, it is a Western perspective for Islamic economics. This is something we need to discuss. Okay. So the number 2 is Al Imran. So sorry, Dr. Ismail, supposed to 103. Yeah, I don't have the time to discuss, to change. But this sustainable works is also something very beautiful. It says that, and hold firmly to the rope of Allah altogether and do not become divided. All right. So Dr. Ismail can sort of elaborate this further. So the issue here is that issue of sustainability is there, it's there. And we read Quran and we read Hadith and we interact with people. Today is Friday, we go for Friday prayers. And yet, unfortunately, we are not practicing what the Quran and the Hadith has said. This is something very alien, apparently, that we separate these two. All right, when we do study, we took the Western knowledge. Then when we go, we just do the prayers, we just do the fasting, we just do the kenduri kawin. We have not integrated. All right, this is my conclusion. You may or may not agree with me. I think we have Islamized knowledge. UIA is a pioneer of it, good. But did we integrate knowledge or not? Did we integrate knowledge? Issue of, for example, fardu kifayah. Have we done enough fardu kifayah or not every day to help people, to assist people who are poor? Have we done that or not? Or it's just something like a theory and a hypothesis like that? Okay, we're doing only hypothesis, good for journals only. But yet you see people, and of course the when you talk about Gaza, it is a very excellent example. All right, the Palestine issue. What have we done in the Palestine issue? All right, most of us just look, okay, say sorry, send some what do you call that, donation. This is all we can do. But who is the one who is suffering there? The Muslim brothers are suffering. All right, and yet we read Al-Quran. And we say that all praise to Allah, sustainer of world. We read this, Al-Fatiha, every day. And yet, we have not really get the point of it. And yet, it become only like a theory, Unfortunately, it become a theory. Where is the practice? Okay, this is the issue here. Where is the practice? And Al-Ghazali has said, our famous Sufi Imam has said, man, no doubt, is compelled with 3 things. What is it? Nourishment, bread and water, home and clothes. Okay. Al-Ghazali has said that. There are many other words that Al-Ghazali has mentioned. All right. So all of this, I think, not going very fast, but at least I'm trying to show you there are evidence, in the Quran has said that, there are many things that there is a tie between Islamic and economics. Okay, this is because Allah has never changed the grace and He has bestowed on people until they change themselves. Al-Anfal 8:53. All right. So all these provision that we should take care of people, B40. We have a small what call that project in UIA under the M Kitchen project. This M Kitchen project is purposely designed to help B40 students. We get sadaqah from people. They give them free food. All right. So this is some attempt that we are trying to do to make it balance. All right, to make it balance. We don't want only to think about ourselves, our own salary. We think that we should also donate. And donation is one of those that will bring for us in the grave. All right, donation. What do you call that? Sharing of education, sharing of knowledge, and the prayers of our good children. All right. So these are the issues that we talk about wakaf, zakat, and so on. But actually, has it materialized or not? Okay, has it materialized not to help the people? Okay, all right. And many things, like, for example, environment. Okay, there are issues, for example, that says that there shall be no damage or infliction of there shall be damage, no infliction of. These are our quotes from the Quran in some way. Of course, I can put, I think, Quran here, but it just give a summary, for example, and I said just now about natural elements, natural resources, like water, land, forest, fish, so on and so forth in Islam. Okay? So these are all there. And you should take into consideration. So what I'm trying to say here today is that we put forward ayat Quran and hadith first. Then we look back at our economic models, not the other way around. Okay, don't take the Western theory on economics. Then we try and fit the ayat Quran there. All right, this is the challenge when we talk about sustainability. And yes, I just quote two ayat there. Two ayat there. So we talk about Islam that calls for efficient use of natural resources. I mentioned about that just now. And just take two ayat in Al-Araf 7:31. What does it say? Eat and drink, but waste not by excess. As He, Allah, those believe this is not excessive. This is one of the SDG. There are 17. I will try and introduce, inshallah, we're coming out with one book, SDG 18 book. That one I'll tell you about later at the end of this, all right? So all this actually, brothers and sisters, it's not nothing new. All right, this is in the Quran and Hadith. Why do we need the West to tell us about SDG, sustainability, and all this? Why don't we just discover the Quran, put the verses, think of the model? All right, it's everything there. Al-Araf, Ashura 151, and do not follow binding of the excessive who cause corruption. Corruption is us, the man corrupt. All right, corrupt not only in terms of money, but you do excessive things. You kill animal not the right way. Where you call that you pollute water. And then we companies put the oil in the river. These are some of the issues that we talk about sustainability. But if you look at the ayat Quran, it's already there. Okay, this is my point here. Okay, so the other things, of course, the famous, everyone knows about this Maqasid Sharia, which is actually coming out from the Imam Al-Ghazali. Okay, and there are 3 levels as we're aware. 3 levels is, the first level is, of course, the Daruriyah. Daruriyah is the essentials, right? And number 2, we talk about the complementary, or we call that the Hajiyat. And then Tasniyat. Tasniyat is luxury, okay? But the emphasis in all, even in the SDG 18 book, which I'm going to show, is the Maqasid. All right, we have to hold the Maqasid to go forward insofar as sustainability in Islamic perspectives are concerned. So meaning, we have to take consideration what? We take into consideration, for example, religion. All right, the factor of religion come into play here. Religion is, of course, referring to the ayat Quran and the hadith, which we have discussed just now. Life, all right? Life here means what? Life is not a luxury. Life is make sure that everybody is happy. Life is not burdensome to people. All right? Life means it's not corruption. All right? This is the talking about life. Then it's about intellect. So just this morning, I just heard about the Imam in Permata talking about intellect. We are given the knowledge, all right, to expand and to understand and to put forward. And Allah have blessed us to have this knowledge. All right. So are we making maximum use of knowledge or not? Have we really shared our knowledge enough or not to people? All right, to do good things. All right. And posterity, obviously, posterity is not giving burdensome to the next generation. All right. So if we take a house, how much is the cost house now? 1.5 million using time value of money of 10% of 20 years. How much is that installment? 7,000 at least. Okay, 7,000. Now, if you take a housing loan at 60 years old, you only give 5 years to settle the 7,000. Can you do that or not? You can't do that. Then what will happen? We'll pass it to the second generation, isn't it? We'll pass it to our family to sort it out. So this is not good, all right? This is not sustainable, obviously. So in other words, that is not sustainable. Interest element, we have another discussion in the, what do you call it, ECFI group recently talk about excessive use of money creation and interest, which is actually this one. And wealth, management of wealth. Management of wealth should follow Islamic perspective. All right. So that is all in the summary we talk about. This is also the suggestion of Prof. Tariqullah. And I agree is that, there's one verse in Ar-Rahman which says that, it says very plainly that, and the heaven he raised and imposed the balance. So what do you mean by balance? The balance, if you put it from the structural perspective, is these three here. What I said just now. A balance of environment, a balance of social, and so a balance of economic factor. All right. So all this while, unfortunately, we are only thinking about this economics only. Right? Economics, I mean, making money, using interest, to avoid interest, we use profit. But the issue here is we are only talking about this economy. And unfortunately, the current pattern is linear economy. Linear economy is actually emphasizing on efficiency, short term, all right? We have not even discussed the issue of circular yet, all right? Circular, I mean, apparently to us is very alien. We do not know what circular economy is all right? So not only we are short-sighted, meaning we only think about a single angle, we never thought of the other angle as well, which is the social, the neutrality of the community. We have forgotten this. Or if we do it, as I said just now, we did not integrate. We never think about all this balanced thing all in one at one go. Not the environment, economic, we talk on the making money, debt, tawaru kind of thing. And social, okay, never mind. Give a sadaqah, we take for our zakat. We are obligatory to the sadaqah, zakat as well. But we did not do the balance. All right, if we did not do balance, then we don't follow this ayat here, Al-Mizan, and they haven't here is imposed the balance. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have said that, if you want to take into consideration, we take into consideration all the three things. Only then we have a balance, right? A balance. Balance of what? Balance of environment, balance of what Allah has said, and human being, and so on and so forth. Okay. So this is the issue. In the end of the day, I'm also at the end of the slide, I'm also going to conclude this. Have we do a balance? Have economics, has us as economics seek a macro balance or not? This is something we have to ponder at the end of this and see whether our existing model here meets the balance or not. All right. So going forward, go to my slide. Going forward, this is a summary, right? So I don't have to mention this. I already mentioned that verbally. But the point here is that when you talk about a balanced model, we talk about taking care of consumer welfare, economic efficiency. Yeah? We didn't say we didn't think about only economy. We talk about social justice, ecological balance, so on and so forth. Okay? Okay, given that kind of background, then only we can come up with the understanding of what actually this is, sustainability is all about. Okay, so there are 4 definitions, and this is actually from a Brundtland report. Okay, the Brundtland report actually is a 1987 report. It says that development that meets the needs of the present without compromising ability for future generations. So if you see, actually, I mentioned about future generation just now, which is actually come under posterity. All this actually are all verses of the Quran, but putting in a Western form, isn't it? I said just now, future generation is here. And look at the definition. I break down sustainability from the Western perspective. Means what? Living without certain limits of the earth. All right. Capacity of maintain life. Understanding economy, society. This is actually what we said just now. So in other words, there is a very close semblance of Western sustainability factors and also Islam. All right. Now, what has happened in the reality just now? Just take a look. Is our environment the way we are living sustainable or not? These are only just 2 simple, humble slides. Right? I can have more. But the point here is not to say that we do not know. We know. We knew. Look at the one on the left here. How this polystyrene been flocked at the water. And out of that, you see the water that's coming out from the polystyrene. You know how long polystyrene needs to be destroyed? 400 years, you know. It took 400 years. That is why now there's a ban in polystyrene if you want to buy food. And this has generated a lot of toxic. All right. Where does the water toxic come? It comes from here. Where does it go? It goes to the river. It goes to the river. So if it goes to the river, who is affected by the river? The fish are affected by the river. We are affected by the water. All right. So what we have done to address this issue? All right. That is why now perhaps we understand why polystyrene is banned. Another one here is very familiar. This is the kunduri. I'm not sure. Maybe this is a wedding or something like this, right? So the result of that, there's a lot of wastage. All right. So question is whether we capture this wastage or not. Do we destroy this wastage or not? Okay. And what has the result? Okay, this one may be out of date, right? 214, so on and so forth. But what we're trying to say here is that Malaysian produce 15,000 tons of food waste every day. As a result of what? The result of the linear economy. Why? We didn't circulate, we didn't reduce, we didn't recycle. All right. And this is the effect of it. 2.2 million. That's why I mentioned about New York. Okay. Some of us study in the West London. Okay, just imagine a city of New York. If people just throw rubbish like that, you know, just how much is the pollution, how much the rubbish the city have to clear, and how much the cost is that? How are we going to solve this problem? Okay. Okay, only then perhaps we come to understand what is the issue of circular economy. But circular economy gives us an alternative. What alternative? Give us to reuse and recycle our resources. All right. For example, the one that I put in red here, the emission of greenhouse gas, toxic chemical, land pollution, and all those. So it gives us an opportunity to give us an alternative from linear to circular, isn't it? It gives you the durability, remanufacturing, reuse. And this is not very strange, you know, if you talk about companies like, you know, UBLU, that Japanese company. Those materials are often recycled stuff, you know. Manufacturing is making minimum use of chemicals and so on and so forth. So the issue of sustainability, that's why we have ESG. So ESG actually is not really a bad word. It's a word that is coming from the West, but we don't understand it. We thought that it's making money. And worst of it, we cannot neutralize it. We could not find something which is common from Islam. So we thought ESG is bad. But ESG is not bad. Our understanding of ESG is wrong. All right? Unfortunately, we are still having the linear mindset here, which is actually we thought what ESG is all about. Means what? We just design the material. You want to buy cloth, we design the material, remanufacture it, and at the end of it, we throw. All right, and this is what the issue here when we talk about linear. And yesterday, I think I also said in the group, there are issues also, people going to change from linear to circular. Not only Malaysia, actually, all over the world, because it's very hard to change the mindset. We'll be thinking of just breaking tree and throw. But actually, the model is not this. The model is we have to reduce the resources, reuse the products, recycle. All right, this part of it is very, for us, it's very hard to understand. I mean, we are so hard to understand, but this is the world. This is the world. If we don't do this, you don't control temperature, you don't control waste, what will happen? We may escape, but what will happen to our children? What will happen to our grandchildren? Okay, if we don't take care of what we're supposed to do now, then how are we going to solve this problem? Later on, they will have triple waste problem. Very high temperature will affect their children, will affect the babies. All right. So a quick comparison of those two concepts as can be seen, I said here. In the step plan for linear, we don't do anything actually. We just take, make, and dispose. Whereas circular, we have a chance to reduce and recycle. All right. So the linear is an efficiency program, profit making. Unfortunately, I have to say that. It's a downcycling type of mechanism. Whereas the circular make use of the raw materials. We recycle the raw materials. You upcycle. In other words, there is opportunity of maximum use of resources, which is actually Islamic. Okay, Islam does not ask us to throw things. All right. So the cycle here you can see, okay, you can see what you do with the plastic, recycle them, reuse them, okay, and put that into the zero emission possibilities. Of course, is there something as zero waste, but at least there is 10% less waste if we redesign, if we rethink about how we're going to do in future. So we are aware about the three waste box. When I was small, so I don't understand why the garbage box has divided into three. One for recycle of paper, recycle of glass, recycle of plastic. So at least now some appreciation, and I said is that if you want to understand and make this sustainability successful, begin with a good habit from home. Educate the children first, pass it then to the society. Only gradually when we talk about this issue of what you call sustainability, is that it's a habit, If we are habitual of throwing things. In Japan, there's one particular town, there's no waste, No waste. How come Japanese can live without a no waste environment? And here we feel that we have to have, right? So we talk about this one. I want to mention here because there's a question in the WhatsApp group yesterday. So sustainability, if you see from the practical angle, you have to fulfill these 5 P's: peace, people, planet, prosperity, and partnership. All right. Now, I equivalent that to the Makasih. When I mention about peace here, basically I'm talking about life. People, intellect, akal. Planet is the lineage, okay, which is actually in a way people. These are actually all interrelated. You can't say it's one by one. Prosperity is property. Prosperity is a better word than profit making. Okay, when we talk about prosperity, then we talk about what you call that, the making more fair money than that. Before that, I just want to say is SDG, and most important is related to Quran. If I have my choice, I put the Quranic verse here, and then only the SDG. Now it's the other way around. I don't know why we always think like this. think of the Western theory, then think only about the Quran. Something wrong in our thinking process. And these are just some examples. Okay? Some example I will run very fast to see that I'm trying to say that this word sustainability is not nothing new. All right. The only thing, the mindset of change, that's the one that is giving us the problem. Right. So in Netherlands, so there's so many sustainability project, non-wasteful project, right? In Kenya, a recycle of pollution. All right. We talk about already advanced in Norway, in Germany. People are using solar to fly. All right. And we have Malaysia, not to forget, this is I mentioned about NITER just now. All right. The NITER, the BM has launched this for what purpose? To make Malaysia more brighter, cleaner, and resilient. So this is policy issue. Are we not going to follow a Malaysian policy to change our mindset? All right. There's so many of this plan. Energy efficiency. Okay. Renewable energy, hydrogen. In Sarawak, we have already a hydrogen bus. All right. They are more sustainable than the West. Bioenergy. All right. Green mobility. EV. Tesla now topping up the electrical vehicles. Soon, Proton is coming to it. So there's many examples that what I'm trying to say here.
Prof. Zol, sorry for interruption, but please know that we have 10 minutes left. So
Yeah,
if we are to have questions and answers, then you need to take
All right,
that
thanks.
into
So
consideration.
I
Thank you.
wish I could give you more, but I will share this slide. So, but we're trying to share here actually. This sustainability issue actually is not. This is not. Okay? And there are billions, brother and sister, of ESG fund out there. And the banks are all complying to ESG. They're required to give ESG report. And take a look at so much fund that is being put on ESG, right? The green bond, US is stopping, so on and so forth. Even the unit trust, okay? The unit trust is being, what you call that, being used under ESG, so on and so forth. Green sukuk, this is my additional slide. I got it from Indonesia. All gearing capital market towards renewable energy and so on. And Malaysia also, okay, I only found 2 green sukuk in Malaysia. We need to do something. All right. So as a summary, right? I don't tend to talk so much also is that we just have to bear in mind that, we have to take this sustainability as a very big issue, all right? Integrity of why it is part of our way of life. Muslim Quranic verse has mentioned about sustainability is there, right? So if you pick up the earlier points I talked about, ayat Quran just now, is good enough. I managed to do what I want this morning. So the resources must be balanced. How we balance it? Because of we take into consideration not only economic, but we also take into environment and social programs, right? And lastly, the understanding of circular economy is very important. You talk about sustainability, you want to talk about the efficiency and use of resources. Okay, that's so much time, Dr. Ismail.
Thank you so much, Prof. You were on
So
time.
I end with Surah to us, okay? And inshallah, is there any question? I can
Maybe
help.
we can have a question if there is any from the audience first, if there is any question.
Okay, Dr. Ismail.
Yes.
Dr. Ismail, here is Malia from Australia.
Yeah, Prof.
Thank you very much, Prof. Zul. I think it was very, thought-provoking. But I do have one issue that I want to bring up, especially amongst us lecturers. You see, the basic teachings of secular economy is that we have unlimited ones, but scarce resources. I always tell my students that this is the basic teaching of Islamic economics, which is against Islam altogether. So perhaps before we introduce sustainability to our students, maybe what we should say is about these basic teachings of economics that is, that is just going against the grain of Islam. Where in Islam we say all resources are enough, except the greed of humans make it not enough. So I think because of all this, then the sustainability issues arise. Okay, just that point, Prof. Zuljastri. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yeah, thank you, Prof. Of course, circular is also very much a Western concept, Prof. Yeah? This is better than what we are having now under the linear thing. So we need to probe from the model. What economy should do, perhaps after my talk here, to come up with circular model, which is more sustainable. Yeah. Yeah, any more questions?
I believe, Prof. Joel, it's understanding Islam, but it's more on implementing Islam, practicing Islam, rather than just talking about Islam, preaching, etc. The slide number 13 was wonderful. Relationship with Allah, relationship with fellow human beings, relationship with environment. I believe if we fix our relationship with Allah, purifying the hearts, become good-hearted people, we fix our relationship with human beings, our fellow human beings, we take care of the environment. I think that can be good enough. Yeah. Now, one last question, quick one, if there is any. If not, we need to have
Brother,
questions?
Dr.
Yes.
Zul, this
Yeah.
is can you have what you spoke just now wonderful, and I can see the word of praise coming even far from Australia. Can you just put this and pen down what you spoke? Because I want to include this as a chapter in a proposed book, Sustainable Development, Balancing Spirituality, Values, and Profit. If you like, I
Yes,
can
Prof.
say.
Can you put I'll put my email here, bro.
I will send the topic to you right now in WhatsApp group.
Yes, bro. I put my email here, and we can.
I put in the WhatsApp so you can catch up the things there.
Yes.
Thank you.
So
Thank you, Prof. Khalid. Thank you. Due to time constraint, shall we all be ready for photo session? Brother Shah, can you do that?
Oh, just 1 minute. Can you give me another minute, Brother Shah?
Yeah.
I just want to show you about this book. I told you about the SDG 18 book, yeah? So this SDG 18 book is more or less a summary of what I'm saying here. But this one is what they call it to be issued by Stack. And now going to be available at IAM bookstore, okay? So at least introduce here that there is a book for reference. And I have a chapter here on circular economy. Okay.
Okay.
Can I speak a little bit? Fakhruddin from Indonesia.
Yeah, Prof.
Yes, I'm appreciate for Dr. Jul, Professor Jul presentation this morning. I'm enjoying it. And I was really surprising the UI International Islamic University of Malaysia. They didn't bring their values as as a core essence. Actually, we understand that the SDGs philosophically was built on the Newtonian materialistic philosophy, which is different with the Muslim world principle. So I suggest Dr. Joel to bring this value system in the Muslim world for the starting, and maybe Malaysia as an example, and Indonesia can be bring that further, because values are very important. I remember an essay of Sultan Takdir Ali Sabana regarding the values as integrating forces for civilization and culture. So this value system been long with us, and also they've been neglected. Europe is also, they have their own values, and and many of Western civilization, they have different values than Asian system. So why don't we bring this heading to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals and make this discussion more spread to the ISESCO, for example, because I've been consulting ISESCO strategic planning for the Sustainable Development Goals, and this has been mentioned actually, but not really being implemented in the conceptual way. Thank you very much.
Yes,
Thank you, Brother
Yeah.
Fahruddin from Indonesia. Thank you.
Yeah, Prof. Simon, you have something to say, Prof?
You need to unmute your phone, Prof. Muhammad Sulaiman,
Prof.
because we cannot hear you.
Yeah, Prof is our advisor of YM. It's Prof idea that we should have this discussion. Yeah, Prof, from your perspective, why shall we go forward?
Prof. Muhammad Sulaiman, you need to unmute the phone, I believe, because we cannot hear you.
Prof Farida inside here?
She is among the first who joined.
Prof Khalid, yeah, Prof Khalid.
She is among the
comment
first.
anything, Prof?
She is. Aida Hantala, sir, the question to you. I have sent the question to your email and also WhatsApp.
Okay, Prof, thanks so much.
Prof Farida was the initially joining among the first 4 or 5 of us, and later I guess she may be somewhere in the class or whatever.
Yeah, correct.
But I don't see her now.
Okay, thank you so much.
Prof, I'm afraid that I don't know how many minutes left we have, but I believe it's time to have one photo to remember. Brother Shah?
Yes, please.
Yes, please,
Yes.
Doctor. Yeah, can you please everyone turn on the camera so I can take the photo for the screenshot? 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more pages. 1, 2, 3. Yes, done. Thank you so very much, everyone.
Okay, thank you very
so
much for attending. Inshallah, we'll do some follow-up on this. Thank you.
It's been a
Assalamualaikum.
pleasure. Shall we end up with reciting والعصر together? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
بسم الله.
والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر.
Salam.
تواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. On behalf of Baim, dear brothers and sisters, thank you so much for joining our webinar today. May Allah bless all of you. And special thanks to Professor Zuljastri Abdul Razak. Thank you so much, Prof, for your time and the information you have shared. And till we meet again, inshallah, from me and from the rest of WAIM members, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Salam.
You.
Assalamualaikum. Is there anybody in? All right, I think end.
Prof, no, the meeting is done. Our
So
event.
can I stop the video then?
Yes, please, Prof.
All right.
Thank you so very much, Prof.
Yeah. So I stop the video.